Thank you. I'm Michelle Thiertek, and I am the Director of Music Programs for Hart Community Division, and I am so excited to welcome you to the Greater Hartford Youth Wind Ensemble Spring Concert. Okay. I could not be more impressed by or proud of the amazing artistry of these students. Their perseverance, and I know I said this when we had our holiday concert too, but I just have no words for the dedication to their craft, and I'm just so proud of everyone on stage and so thankful to all of you, their families and friends, for supporting their endeavors. I'm so excited tonight to hear the new pieces by our composers in residence, and I'm so thankful that as part of the Hart School we get to have these amazing collaborations, because that is just such a treat to work with these stars in this field. So for that, I'm so grateful. A few housekeeping things. Please silence your electronics, and please keep your masks on in the audience for the entire performance. And now, Professor Glenn Adsit.
Thank you so much for coming out to this concert. I would, tell you how terrific it's going to be and spoil it all for you, but I won't do that. These students they sound amazing. They have worked so hard all year, and you're really going to hear some extraordinary music making tonight. Really special tonight, as Michelle has alluded to, we have two composers with us. Two extraordinary composers that have written all of the music on the program tonight. Two of the pieces have never been played before, so they're world premieres. They're two pieces that are getting their launch tonight, and you'll hear more about them from the composers as they're going to introduce each one of their pieces, but I just wanted to say a couple of things at the top about each one of them. So Jess Turner and Shuying Lee are both, we are proud to say, alums of the Hart School. They both went here and studied various degrees here, and then went from here to other places for other degrees. And as I was telling the audience last night, one of the things that we do in the collegiate division is our student composers have readings. And so they'll write a piece, and they will have a reading of that piece where the orchestra or the wind ensemble will play that music during a part of a rehearsal, so that they can hear what they've written and realize it in part of a rehearsal. And that's an important part of the process for a composer, is once they've written it, to actually hear, performers work on it and perform it. And so in the case of both of them, I happened to be involved in the readings as they were students here. And in both cases, I sort of zeroed in and said, wow, there's something really special here. There's a talent that is really remarkable. And in both cases, we kind of zeroed in and said, hey, why don't you write a piece? And so the story I told last night was I had asked Jess if he wanted to write a piece, and I said, if you write it, not only will I read it, but I'll perform it on a concert. And for a composer, that's of course a big deal, because that means we're getting lots of rehearsal. And I said to him, 7, 8 minutes, somewhere in that area. And then kind of halfway through the summer, I get a call and said, it's more like 12 minutes now. And I said, all right, that's fine, that's good. And then toward the end of the summer, it was, I couldn't keep it anything less than 18. And I said, okay, it better be good, right? And you're going to hear that piece tonight. This was his first piece. And that year got really interesting, because we actually ended up with the Hart Wind Ensemble having our debut performance at Carnegie Hall that year. And I called Jess and said, this piece is going to be on our debut concert in Carnegie Hall, because it's that good. And from that moment of us collaborating, we've been partners now for a long time, collaborating on various projects. including a world premiere that we did last night here, that we'll be then recording on Tuesday for Naxos CD with the Hartford Wind Ensemble. So we got 8 hours in the next 2 days of recording projects going on this stage that will transform after we're done tonight into 32 microphones and full recording gear. So that's very exciting for us. Shu-Ying Lee, the same story. We were in an orchestra reading and was hearing her orchestra piece, and my colleague Edward Cumming and I, the orchestra conductor, sort of started hearing some of this and looked at each other and went, wow, you know, there's just a fresh sound, a voice that we've never heard before, that she does things in ways that are imaginative and are unique. And even, you know, at that age of an undergrad here, it was really clear that her voice was an extraordinary voice. And now, 12 years later, she's teaching at Gonzaga University, now actually teaching at Sacramento State, as she just took a new job, and has written this really terrific piece. You're going to hear 2 of her pieces tonight, The Last Hive Mind and Stacking. And again, she wrote a piece for professional wind ensemble that's extremely difficult and really amazing, called Kung Fu, that we premiered last night, and again are recording for Naxos on Monday. Jess hails from over the pond, so he's come from England to be with us, and Shu-Ying has come from Washington State, which I think is probably almost as long of a flight to get here these days. You never know with travel, but we are thrilled to have both of them here. And as Michelle said, you know, they've been here working with the students all afternoon. So we had a 3-hour rehearsal today with them, and there's nothing like working with somebody who is the source. Right? This is the source of the inspiration for the music. This is the source of the person that wrote the music. And so as much as I, as the conductor, can say, you know, I want it to be this way, or we need to play it more like this, there's nothing better than being able to turn around and say, you're the expert, you know, you wrote this, how do you want this? And to be able to interact with both of them has been really extraordinary, not only for us, but for the entire Hart School all week, since they've been here most of the week, and will be with us through Tuesday of this week with the recording. So I'd like to welcome each one of them, and they're going to each come up and tell you a little bit about each piece as we go through the concert. So please welcome Shu-Ying Lee and Jess Turner.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here. I'm Shu-Ying Lee. The piece you're about to hear is called The Last Hive Mind. So I have now memorized the program notes, so I'm gonna read off my phone. I got inspiration from this British TV series Black Mirror, one episode called Metalhead. Some of you might have watched it. So it's telling the story of after the unexplained collapse of human society, a group of people try to flee from the robotic dogs, a vast hive mind with metal-built bodies and powerful computerized brains. So that failure, it was almost, predictable. However, one detail that really struck me the most was why these human beings got trapped in this crazy chase. It was actually because of their effort of searching a comforting gift for a very sick child. And that gift is a fluffy teddy bear. So in this piece, there are two forces fighting each other all the time. One is the robotic, rhythmic, seemingly unbreakable hive mind music, and the other one's the dreamy, melodic, even a little bit creepy lullaby music. So that's the piece. I hope you enjoy.
my name is Jess Turner, and the composer of the next piece, Red Rover. Are all of you all familiar with Red Rover, the game that you play out in the playground? I grew up playing this game, and when I was originally approached to commission to write this piece by Mr. Matthew DeLassis from Ellington High School, who is here tonight, thank you for commissioning this piece, by the way. The piece was commissioned in 2019 with the idea that there was not going to be a pandemic in 2020 and that it would be able to be performed. And of course, sadly, the COVID kind of wrecked all of those plans. And so this piece has been done and just sitting in my files for nearly 3 years now. And it's I heard it for the very first time today, about 2 hours ago. And just really thrilled with the work that the kids have put into it. It's going to sound really great. So the idea behind the piece is it's a children's game. It's subtitled Divertimento, which literally means a game. But right from the very start, you'll be able to tell that it's not a light-hearted, innocent children's game. So Red Rover, it's a very zero-sum type game. If you can't break through the other person's line by hurling your body at it as hard as you can, you have to join them, holding hands until there's nobody left on one side. And there's so many things going on in the world that are kind of like that right now in the adult world. So I kind of wanted to give that kind of impression. It's a children's game, but it's kind of warming kids up to when it's not a game anymore. So it's kind of in 3 different sections. There's the first game, which is more or less innocent, and there's little snatches of other play tunes. You'll recognize a couple different playground songs. And then it kind of gets out of hand for a little while until the teachers kind of rein things back in. You'll hear police whistles back there. Gets a little bit, more sedate. And then it just eventually snowballs until it evolves into a full-fledged kind of rave at the end. And as with many games, at least that I played as a kid, the game ends when somebody breaks a window, and there will hopefully be a broken window happening. Not literally, though that was my original plan for somebody. We didn't go that route, however. You'll hear all sorts of other special effects, like heavy breathing effects, running feet. There's a squeak toy. No, should be enjoyable. So I hope you enjoy Red Rover. something completely different. Uh, so where the last piece was kind of violent and out of control, this one is very much controlled and beautiful, hopefully. So I Know Moonrise was commissioned by the South Carolina chapter of the National Band Association, I believe. And my father is a band director, actually, and this was commissioned for his retirement. It's based on a folk hymn from early days of the way back in U.S. history, and the hymn is kind of a journey. It takes the listener on a journey. It starts out at night, kind of walking through fields, and then come to a graveyard, and we kind of walk through the graveyard, and then at the end it opens up into daylight, and lots of rejoicing and very triumphant sounding. Started its life as a choral piece for a cappella choir, and so this was really fun to take what was originally very limited in timbre, an ensemble very limited in timbre choir, and put it in all these different instruments and add lots of percussion and colorful effects to it. So yes, I hope that you all enjoy I Know Moonrise, and once again I'd like to thank the young people for working so hard on this, and yeah, enjoy.
So the next piece you will be hearing is called Stacking. Stacking is rather a failed attempt of a grade 3 piece because it ended up being grade 4. But it's also a very fun piece exploring all kinds of different scales. And as musicians, we know scale is something that's very basic. We all start learning and practicing from the very beginning of our musical journey. So with some energetic driving force of the rhythm, I'm exploring different scales as major, minor, as well as octatonic and whole tone scales. This piece was also written 3 years ago, which was scheduled for a performance in May 2020, and it got canceled. So today will be the world premiere. I'm so happy to hear this and working with this group of fantastic musicians after 3 years. So I hope you enjoy.
piece this evening, Rumplestiltskin. Glenn informed me shortly before rehearsal today that this is probably the most difficult piece that this group has played before. And I was like, well, I hope so, because it's pretty much the most difficult piece I've written, too. And so, just fiercely difficult, both technically and musically. Lots of very involved soloistic work, big oboe solos, flugelhorn solo. There's a contrabassoon, which is one of my favorite instruments, actually. So the piece Rumpelstiltskin kind of loosely follows the story. Is everybody familiar with the story of Rumpelstiltskin? It's this little gnome or imp of some sort who helps this poor maiden spin straw into gold because the maiden's father has basically sold her to the king with the promise that she can spin straw into gold and make him fabulously wealthy. So, Father of the Year award right there. And then, so the king locks her away in his castle and threatens to cut off her head, actually, if she will not spin straw into gold for him. And so, this little imp, Rumpelstiltskin, appears and offers his help. And eventually, he asks for payment, and she has nothing to pay him except for she is expecting a child. So she promises him her firstborn child. So Mother of the Year award right there. Rumpelstiltskin gives her an out, though. Says, if you can guess my name, you can keep your child, and, and I will go away. So she accidentally finds out his name because she's wandering through the forest in, deep distress, because she's got to give up her child, her firstborn child, and comes across this little man singing around a fire, and he's singing about how his name is Rumpelstiltskin. And so she tells him the next day, hey, your name's Rumpelstiltskin. And he gets so infuriated that the different versions of the ending of the story that he starts spinning and spinning and spinning around so fast that he disappears into this tornado of just rage. Some versions have him tearing himself in half. Some versions having him fly out the window of the kitchen on a cooking ladle, which is one of my favorites. But anyway, this is a very, very big, difficult piece, and they are playing it fantastically, and I'd like to thank each one of you for helping support them in their musical pursuits. I think the band should give the parents a hand, probably. So thank you for coming out tonight, and hope you enjoy Rumpelstiltskin.
And before we get to this, we do have a few things to say and to say thanks for while we're still getting ready. So I do still conduct the Greater Hartford Youth Wind Ensemble, since you've seen everybody else up here tonight except me. This is really a truly remarkable piece. It's about 20 minutes long, and as you will hear, it's really fantastic. But first, I'd like to invite Michelle and Jessica up to the stage. We have a special program here called the Hart Preparatory Academy, and they're going to tell you a little bit more about that, and we're going to honor some of our students behind us who have been a part of that. So, welcome.
Hello. I'm Jessica Rudman. I'm the director of the Hart Preparatory Academy. HPA is a 2-year program for students who are interested in potentially majoring in music in college. And the students participate in ensembles, in private lessons, in classes in music theory and ear training and keyboard skills and other such things at the college level. So these students have essentially been doing their normal high school work as well as the equivalent of a year of college across the program. So they have put in a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of hard work to complete their coursework, and they are all going on to some very exciting things in college. So we would like to briefly recognize our graduating seniors. So our first graduating senior is Emma Bravi, and Emma is going to be, I have my notes with everybody's schools, if I can unlock my phone. Emma is going to Eckerd College, and her major is going to be marine biology, pre-health track, with a minor in music. Come on up, Emma. Congratulations. Our next graduating senior is Amelia Carrick, and she is going to be attending the Eastman School of Music at the University of Rochester with a major in horn performance. And then we have Sophia Cornicello, who is going to be attending Bard College with a double major in piano performance and biology. And Ellis Mensa is going to be attending the Peabody Conservatory at Johns Hopkins University with a major in music composition and a minor in chemical engineering. Emma Terlizzi is going to be attending the Frost School of Music at University of Miami with a major in music therapy and a minor in psychology. And last but not least, we have Lindsay Weirn, who is going to be attending the Hart School with a double major in flute performance and music education. So congratulations to all of our graduating seniors, and I will pass it back to Glenn.
And while we're recognizing our seniors, this is always the moment that I just don't like. So I'm going to ask all of the seniors to stand behind me. I'm not going to look, because it's always difficult. I'd like them to be recognized. Way too many clarinet seniors. Okay. I would also like to say that none of this would be possible without the support of the community division. And you all live in this community, most of you. We may take the community division for granted, and we shouldn't, because it's truly one of the most remarkable community divisions in the country. We have, we can boast any number of great facts about the community division, the number of students, the number of people that come through the building, the number of programs, the number of orchestras, the number of bands, the amount of applied lessons that happen. All of that is an extraordinary accomplishment and something that is a rich history at the Hart School. And there's just some people to thank on their behalf. Michelle, who you met earlier, Feartech, she has been the interim director this year, and all of this has gone so smoothly, and it's because of her hard work, her intelligence, and her dedication to Hart, to these students, not only in the community division, but she also teaches in the collegiate division, and she's just such an amazing colleague, an incredible person, and I want to thank her so much. We're lucky I think it probably goes back, Tom, what, 4 years? I think that's right. 6, sorry. Okay, there it is, 6. So for a bunch of years, this kid right here was in GWE, and she's now at the Hart School. And there was this guy sitting in the back, and he'd watch every rehearsal. And I finally just sort of went up and introduced myself, and he said, "Hi, I'm Tom Scavone," and I was like, "You're Tom Scavone? Okay." I knew the name. I knew him as a terrific band director in our state. At that point, kind of the supervisor of music down in Westport. I have that right. I'm just looking at the daughter to make sure that that's correct. And we struck up this great friendship. And I thought, you know, at the time I was doing GWE, I did not have doctoral students at that time with me that were studying in the program. And I just think it's always great for the students behind to get more than one person than me, and to have 2 people in the room that are doing battle and helping each other as much as we can. And so at that point, I said, if you're here every week, why don't you just join me? And let's do this together. And so we conducted GWE for 2 years together. And last year, for those of you that remember, we were on that outside stage in the cold, right? But we were celebrating that like crazy because we were outside. We were making music again together in such a remarkable way. And you know that Tom was there, and he has been with me for those 2 years. Well, since then, as you heard, Michelle has been the interim director of the Hart Community Division, and we have hired a new director for the Community Division. Michelle is going to take over the music programs, this huge umbrella of that, and Tom is leading the entire Community Division, and his first day is tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. So I just wanted to welcome Tom officially to the Hart family, and literally his family is joining our family because he already has one daughter here, and there's another daughter coming next year as a first-year student trumpet player. So we're delighted, and for those of you that are part of the Community Division, you know, Tom is a first-class A+ individual, and he is going to lead the Community Division, I have no doubt, in extraordinary ways. And so I am just thrilled, Tom, to call you my colleague. I really am. I think it's that important that good deeds don't go unnoticed. And this may seem like a really simple thing, but it's to me, it has been so powerful all year that I wanted to take the opportunity to say a word about this. At the beginning of the year, we had a student, Angel, sitting in front of us, a flute player, whose parents live on the coast, and she goes to Miss Porter's school. And she called and said, "I'd really like to be in GWE, but I can't find a ride. There's no shuttle from Miss Porter's to the University of Hartford, and I want to be in GWE." And so I was in rehearsal the very first week, and I said, "Does anybody pass by Miss Porter's school on the way here?" And you know, I'm wondering if somebody could pick up Angel on her way here. And this father in the back says, "I can do it." And I said, "Well, do you drive by Miss Porter's?" He said, "It'd be a bit of a detour, but I can do it every week." It's more of a detour. And so for every week, Carl Arnfels, where are you, Carl? I just want to say thank you for picking up Angel every week. Just a simple gesture, right? But we need more of that in this world. And he has picked up Angel every week and brought her here for rehearsals. And I am very grateful, as I know Angel and her mom and dad are very grateful for that as well. So as you will hear in this last piece, This is big people music. It's professional level wind ensemble music. And as Jess alluded to, there's some things about that level of music that are different. So there's a lot more solos. There's a lot more independent playing. There's a lot more instrumentation. You heard mention of the contrabassoon here that Luke is holding. We have a harpist with us that's here. We have 5 independent trumpet parts, or 6? 6, yeah, there's 6 back there. That's rare. That's something that only happens in advanced level repertoire. And we've actually had invited some special guests in to help fill some of those spots. So we have a number of Hart students that are joining us. I would like to ask them to either wave or stand and receive our thank you for being here to cover these parts. And lastly, I just want to thank the students behind me. I was telling them earlier, if I can be totally honest, there are times when I'm driving in on Sunday, like them, thinking, oh, okay, here we go. I gotta get excited about this. And by the time I'm here and by the time we're all going together, I'm excited and ready to go. And that's because of their dedication. I don't know why this has happened, but it has. All of my colleagues that do ensembles like this around the country have talked about how everything has taken a dip. So we have grade levels of music. There's grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6, and that's how we quantify the difficulty level. And they've all referred to, this year I've had to take 2 grade levels difference. So we used to play grade 5 last year. We're doing grade 3 this year. That's the best we can do coming out of the pandemic. For us, it's been just the opposite. We had our first rehearsal the first rehearsal of this year in the fall. I had to retool everything. I had to pick harder repertoire because it was instantly apparent that I had undershot things. And never at the beginning of last year would I have thought we would be able to play the piece that we're going to play right now, because it's that difficult. And yet, as the year has gone on, it has given me the confidence to know that we can play this, and that they can do it not only justice, but do it better than justice in their performance. So I'm really excited to share this with you. It's a great story. It's a wonderful composition, and the last couple people that I want to thank is every week we have a percussion expert that is from Hart that has been with us, and he has been back there helping the percussion, which is an entirely different set of instruments to deal with, and organizing them and getting them playing. And I would just like to thank him and know that he's really appreciated. I think he's in the back waiting. So we'll give applause to him. There he is. Poke his head out the door. Thank you. Awesome. And you've noticed that I've not conducted yet, so I'm going to promise I'm going to do that today. But I have 2 remarkable doctoral students who are with me every week in this ensemble. They are gifted teachers. They have become terrific friends. They're in their 2nd year of their doctoral programs here. They are experienced teachers, and both are going to have really fantastic careers in academia going forward. And it's been a pleasure to share the stage with both of them. So thank you, James. Thank you, Chris. All right, and without further ado, here is Rumplestiltskin, After We Tune.